Hey, boys and girls, buffaloes and bunnies. Weather report for September 20th, 2021. Yeah. Hey, my birthday today, I'm 25,825 days old. I'm coming up on that 26,000. That's pretty scary. Is anybody else here? You guys are all muted. Anyway, let's see. What is?
I'm here.
We had a weekend.
I was going to maintain radio silence.
Oh, okay. So we had a weekend, and on the weekend, Danny talked about natural selection on a 10-hour stream on Gerst Streams, and then John Maddox and, well, Otangelo wasted like 5 or 6 hours, like 5 hours in that stream just doing, can I finish? Can I finish? And then Maddox was in there, and I almost had a conversation with Maddox, but Otangelo was just so omnipresent that it was impossible to talk on the stream. So I just said, fuck it. And I left. And anyway, so did I link that? Yeah, I linked that stream. I think I linked that one. Death and Other Inconveniences. Holy shit. That was a lightning strike real close. Wow. I saw that one. I may not be here that long. Anyway, just in case, 25,825 days is how long I made it. But it's getting pretty scary out there. Anyway, so that was an epic stream, and there was just a ton of stuff on there. And there was a guy at the end of it. What was his name? Well, let's see. Why don't I know this guy?
The Alpha guy, or no? Or
Alpha Centurion. He was cool.
Guy. Yeah,
he was cool. But then at the end, there was another guy that came in. Let me check it out. Oh, this cat just ran up on my lap. The cat's freaked out.
Oh yeah, because of lightning and thunder.
Yeah. Let's see.
Was it the flathead? What was his name?
Pat Lowinger.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So who is
listen to any of that? I don't know that guy. Do you?
Anybody? Pat Lowinger seems to know what he's talking about, and he listened to John's argument carefully. The whole it's digital, it's a code, it's programming, it's a 3D printer, all that bullshit. And then at the end, he says, I've heard your whole argument, I understand, and it's a good argument, and well put together. And he complimented John, and then he sort of said it's just not persuasive for intelligent design, which is kind of
Yeah.
Oh, Pat Lowinger, by the way, it seems to frequent Amy Newman's channel a lot, I think.
Really?
But that's a name I see around a lot.
Okay. Cool. And Ozzy just got back to me, so I might have a chat with Ozzy at some point. Anyway, so I think I'll respond to that. So what else is going on, guys? So, Skylar Fiction and Otangelo, and I just heard about this one, and we're waiting for. I guess it was a pretty real calm and orderly talk.
Skylar Fiction was very calm and orderly. I can't say the same for Trolltangelo.
Trolltangelo got a little upset. Well, that's interesting. Never known that to happen lately.
I'm still looking for the spot.
Okay. I got a ways to go. 32,800 days. I'll be 90. Not from now, but I mean, that's when you're 90, you're 32,870 days old or something like that. So that's all you fuckers got. So you youthful people, count your days and just figure it out, because you really don't have a whole lot of days on the planet, you know? Kind of amazing. You top out somewhere between 30 and 33,000, you know, at the most.
Live every day like it's your last.
Yep. Count every day. I do.
So I just got done with my forum. I posted it in public and private.
Okay. So now Top Dog picks are now going to be a link to the forum where we're putting the picks for each day. And I think we're going to put the weather report descriptions. God, that sounds like a lot of work. But it would be nice to have weather report descriptions every day. And then we could say a little bit about the weather report, so that in the future when we say, oh, where was that thing where Maddox made a fool of himself? And we could just search the forum and find it, right? That'd be kind of cool. So, awesome. I like you actually formatted the whole thing for me. Thank you. So anyway, what's up, you, David? Anything?
I'm ready to get out the duct tape, but other than that,
I would. Right.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a man being arrested for duct taping his toddler to a chair. I don't know.
Around here, you would for sure. I haven't. I don't know.
There's been one or two teachers in trouble.
I think that's happened before, but around here, I would definitely. I mean, she had her turn, so why can't I have my turn?
Well, did she know about 911?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're screwed.
Yeah, definitely.
Does she have an attorney?
She's covered in mud right now. Holy shit. Oh my God, I'm in deep shit right now.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Big trouble. Yep.
Oh, Pat Lowinger has a channel. Awesome. I didn't know that.
So Scott, you said he spends time over at Amy's. I don't know why I've never.
To the best of my recollection, yes. I don't know if I'm just like making that up or hallucinating it, but I seem to recall from
so
Friday night, maybe Saturday night.
Yeah.
He's a historian. He's got Discovering Ancient History with Pat Lowinger.
Oh,
that's the name of his channel. So I'll put that in the description. Yeah, I thought he was pretty cool. Kind of liked him.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that Catholic guy, that Ultra Centurion.
Yeah.
Ultra Centurion is that what it was? Ultra Centurion? Alpha Centurion. Yeah. Okay. But it's Centurion, not Centurion.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting choice that he made. Okay. Put that in the description. We're there. Yep. And it's Monday. We don't know what the hell's going on. Many things are going on in my head. I don't know how many of them I should actually let out in public. Cells. I've been looking into cell biology. I don't know if that surprises you. Are you surprised?
Not at all.
I have some basic questions about cells that I've been trying to answer. And so I've been working on that quite a bit. And I don't know, whatever else. I think we're going to open this up because, there's a lot of videos we could. The other thing is I found out that Ozymandias and Melpass and Helena Handbasket on Helena Handbasket's channel did an 8-part thing 4 years ago on Fodor's argument. And they explain it very, very well for laymen and for anybody. And then I found out that Nessleg was on there in the 3rd episode, and he had a very, very good argument against Fodor. And I haven't listened to the rebuttal of Nessleg yet, but it seems like the rebuttals all run along the line of they'll say, well, natural selection doesn't do this. And then you'll show them that natural selection does this, and they'll say, oh, no, but that's not natural selection. That's natural selection with other stuff added on. And I don't know if the definition of natural selection they're using is what Darwin wrote in his book, which I haven't read, or if they're talking about the current state of natural selection in modern biology. Because modern biology is thick with natural selection. And most particularly, it's thick with purifying selection. And then, of course, there's 3 kinds of selection. Why did I forget the middle one? Neutral, purifying, and positive or selection. So there's 3. And when you look at genes only, I mean, okay, so would anybody deny that a gene is a trait of the organism? An organism having a particular gene, a particular pattern of nucleotides, would anybody deny that that's a trait? I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so, no.
So what natural selection looks at is how those traits or genes and different combinations vary over time in a population, and how they vary in a population itself at an instance in time. Like if you were to take a slice of time and look at the entire population, you're going to see a variation for basically a whole bunch of different alleles, different or different loci. You're going to see multiple alleles at that loci across the population, and then you're going to look, and you can hopefully see it over time. Like if you're looking at bacteria, you can actually keep track of it over time, as Lenski's been doing for about 100,000 generations. I'm not sure what he's up to. He was up to 60, I think, not too long ago. Anyway, so you're looking at that, and those are your traits, and you look at how those vary over time, and you talk about it using natural selection. And some philosophers seem to have some pushback on that, but their pushback seems to always be around Superman and Clark Kent and hearts and thump noises. And they don't very often get into anything any deeper than that. And I think that might be their undoing, because they are strawmanning natural selection because they're not looking at all the parts of it. Now, when you look at natural selection, you start talking about it, you also have to talk about the kind of genome you have. You might have a haploid genome, you might have a diploid genome. You have all sorts of characteristics. You might have sexual mating, asexual mating, something in between, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. All of these things enter into natural selection. So,
okay, you've got a little a link with a timestamp in private chat where Otangelo starts to get a potty mouth.
Oh, okay, cool. 1988. But we got a hell of a storm going on outside.
Man, I hope you survive it. But they never have dangerous weather in Minnesota, do they?
Yeah, we've been getting a little bit. We had 3 tornadoes last storm we had on Saturday night, was it, or Friday night? Friday or Saturday night, we had 3 tornadoes touch down. And I went out in the yard to enjoy the storm. And we got this giant oak tree which has died, and a big branch fell off of it, and I ran in the house faster than a bunny. I didn't even think. I just ran in the house, me and my cats. Boom, boom, boom. We all went through the cat door. God, I have trouble fitting through the cat door these days. It's because of COVID, because I've been sequestered. I gained some weight. I don't fit through the cat door very well anymore.
Also, here is a link in the private chat to a scientific report. I can't find a DOI on it, so I think it's just like a field report with like 20 authors. A Tunguska-sized airburst destroyed el-Hammam, a Middle Bronze Age city in the in the Jordan Valley near the Dead Sea. So that one's about 3,600 years old, and they're claiming, or they're thinking, it might have something to do with the legends about Sodom and Gomorrah, and they also think that the burst of wind it created might have actually toppled
parted the Red Sea.
Say what?
Parted the Red Sea.
I don't think that, but you know, that's the thing. The main focus of the archaeological work is coming from Southwest College in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they used to be like Southwest Seminary in Tulsa, and they changed their name and moved out to New Mexico, and they probably have branch campuses in all sorts of different places. So I don't know. It gets suspicious, but it's still worth reading the paper and reading any articles you might see, like on MSN or CNN's news platforms.
Okay, so Kafai put his channel up too. I think it's the same channel, right? Yep, same channel. Okay.
Yeah. Did you
Anyway, it's
see
already in the
off?
description. Huh?
Did you see what he wrote? He pissed him off. He was talking to him on Amy's channel.
Oh,
and
really?
he pissed him off about something about Stonehenge. I don't know why he would get upset over that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Who got upset over Stonehenge?
Pat.
And
Sure.
Kafai.
He asked him, that Graham Hancock, what his take was on it. He asked him about that, and then
Yeah.
I guess he freaked out about it for some reason. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But.
Okay, should I play this?
Yeah, I haven't heard it, so yeah.
Sure. It may be a minute or so before he gets too heated.
Okay. That's just what I really need today is more Otangelo.
I am just telling you right in your face that you're full of shit.
Okay.
Okay.
There you
have
go.
an argument, or are we just going to tell me I'm full of shit? Make empty
Yeah,
assertions?
no, what you just said is just nonsense. The God that I know doesn't command me to drown people.
Oh, he commanded people to execute people, children.
The God
babies.
that I know, which is Christ, he commanded me to love other people as I love myself. That's
I
the
know.
foremost command.
God says
So it doesn't
contradictory
harm.
things.
So it doesn't harm people. It actually
Well, it harms
benefits
gay people.
society.
Let's talk about gay people.
Yeah, does the Bible say somewhere that we as Christians should hate gay people?
Do you support gay marriage?
Can you answer my question?
Yeah.
Please?
Oh, yeah. It tells you to kill them in the Old Testament.
No, I am asking you, where does the New Testament say that we as Christians should hate gays?
Does that make a difference if I pull it out of the New or Old?
Now, can you answer my question now, please?
I mean, I could look for it. I could look for homosexual
No, I'm
scriptures in the New
just.
Testament if you would like off the top of my head. I'm not thinking
Why can you not?
because I don't have every scripture memorized.
Why can you not straightforward answer my question? Where does the New Testament say that we should hate gay people?
Wait, what about the Old Testament?
You use the word hate gay people.
Right, that's just what Skylar said.
It doesn't.
I know you're making a false here. What you're doing is you're creating a straw man.
No, you are creating.
Because that's not my argument. No, my straw man.
Oh, it's not your argument. So what is your argument then?
My argument is the God, the Old Testament, tells you to execute gay people.
No, you were taught.
True? Is that true?
You are pulling.
True?
You are pulling from
Is
one
that
to the
true?
other topic.
Can I ask you, is it true? I know you're afraid to answer the question.
No.
Otangelo,
You
I'm
said
not
no.
gonna
We are
like these other people.
no.
do.
Listen,
I'm
we
not
are
afraid to hear
sticking.
you out.
Listen, we
I'll
are
let you
sticking.
speak,
Listen,
and then you're
we
gonna
are
answer my question. Go ahead.
Listen, we are sticking to the topic. You said that Christianity harms people. So I'm asking you again.
LGBT.
So I'm asking you again. Where does the New Testament instruct us as Christians to?
Now, is he saying that the New Testament Christianity is only the New Testament? And you threw the old one away?
Oh, and almost, not really, but almost.
That's the dodge. The way they deflect off of questions about the Old Testament is to immediately change the conversation to the New Testament.
Because he's talking about Christ, right? And Christ doesn't come in until the New Testament, not the Old, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the distinction he's making. And Skylar already said it's in the Old Testament. I can look up in the new one if you want me to, and he's just blowing that right off. Just saying,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and when you and when they like to apply Jesus to the Old Testament whenever it suits their needs, like saying the Old
Right.
Testament is still valid
Yep.
today.
Yep.
But then when you try to say for the things that are questionable, when you say Jesus Christ the same yesterday, today, and forever, so it's the same Jesus that was in the Old Testament as in the New Testament. That's when a lot of them balk at it, and won't accept that. And so, yeah, they are in kind of a dilemma because there's no good way out of it based on their doctrines.
Yep. Typical.
Whoops. So, did you guys hear any of that? That's good. If you didn't, anyway,
No.
Kafai posted a couple links. So should I go on here with Otangelo, or is that?
Well,
I just posted a link as well. Kafai, as always, is full of shit.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is he saying about Graham Hancock?
Yeah, I posted that Graham Hancock said that Stonehenge was a doorway to Orion, and then he said that wasn't the case. So I posted a link to Hancock's website stating that Stonehenge is a doorway to Orion.
What is what is he talking about? What do you mean doorway to Orion?
I have no clue.
Because I've been to Stonehenge. Oh, they wouldn't let us go into the rocks. So, because if we went into the rocks, we'd end up in Orion somewhere in the constellation.
Does it line up at some point in the year with Orion or some significant star in the constellation of Orion?
Stonehenge is the womb of the earth.
The boom?
The womb.
The womb. Okay.
I think we need magic mushrooms.
But I don't know how. What does Orion have to do with wombs?
I don't know.
Did they see Orion, I wonder, as a warrior with a sword in the belt, or did they interpret it as something different?
I have no clue.
Anyway, they won't let you go in there anymore and actually touch the rocks on Stonehenge, which upset me. I wanted to go touch the rocks, go look at them. I guess because they might fall over and kill you.
You don't want too many people getting their
touching the rocks
and things. Anything that's an ancient point of interest, you just don't want people messing with it.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. You can see them from a distance. It's like, there's some rocks in the field there. They're big.
But I'm curious. I joined because what? Otangelo went potty mouth?
Just for a moment here, I'm not sure if there's any more, but I guess, how much of this did you listen to, Scott?
I listened to pretty much the whole exchange. I had to go in and out because of stuff I was working on. But he also, it's offensive to me when you straight out call somebody a liar. So he did that with Skylar a lot, and I don't think that's right. Skylar he had a good disposition. He wasn't hostile, but he didn't back down either. So
I love Skylar fiction.
So you just can't. You might say I don't really comport to your interpretation. You can say I think you've misread it, but to say you're a liar is just childish.
Well, do any of you know that Otangelo has a new mute button?
He what?
He has a new mute button.
You gave him the script, didn't you?
No. If I show up, Otangelo automatically mutes.
Oh, I see.
Oh, nice.
And that was after me reading out all of his comments on Germania's stream, and he was encouraging me to do that because I did it in his voice.
Otangelo is here, apparently.
No, that is Otangelo as Holio.
No, that's actually Otangelo. I think I don't know.
No,
I
don't
think it's
that-
actually him. I do. That's one of his socks.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
He
cool.
says, I love Speed. He's a man. He makes me look stupid.
No,
Yep.
Otangelo, the one who makes you look stupid is you.
You guys are so mean to Otangelo. You gotta be nicer to him. He's
Why?
well.
He's
special.
actually using the profile picture that I'm using right now, including the part where it shows his hairy titties. I have to
Okay. Well,
I have to give
Otangelo,
him
why?
props for that.
Why
Well,
are you using that? I don't know.
well,
So
yeah.
how you guys doing? How you doing, Speed? By the way, I was joking about the smoky thing. I don't know if you noticed that in the side, in the chat. You wouldn't let
No,
me in. You wouldn't let me in, so I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm
Were
gonna
you-
go to smoky.
Were you threatening again?
What?
I don't know.
I like coming into this stream.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's-
missed a Danny post.
That might change real soon.
It's a conceptual issue. Surprised that you
hold on,
still.
hold on, Peter. What are you saying?
I know something you don't know,
Oh
What?
God.
Oh no.
but we'll get to that later.
Like live or back room? I wish you could go
can
back
do
room
it
for like
live,
5
but
minutes.
We can do it live, but I don't want to derail the thing.
Oh,
that is
I-
going on
I-
right now.
I think we're done with this, aren't we? With the Otangelo show? Are we done with it, Scott? Or is there more? Is there
I've been
more?
Talking. Oh no, there's no more. He's going to rage quit. But that'll be
It
later.
does. Oh, where does he rage? He always rage quits.
Yeah.
I mean, Otangelo rage quits almost every time.
Yeah,
Except, did he rage quit the other day? He was on Gur's stream for 5 hours, and I think he wasted everybody's time. It would have been a lot better if they just let John Maddox talk, I think.
Oh,
Because
Otangelo.
Otangelo,
They actually
Yeah.
fought, right? They were like I think they were getting irritated, or Otangelo was getting irritated with John.
really?
He was like, "Please, John, please, please," something like that.
Yeah. Oh, let's see here.
Well, he just wanted to talk, I think, right? That's kind of really all it was. Is, they were over talking each other, or was it more than
I
that?
thought
Okay.
I might be reading too much into it, but it seemed like frustration.
Well, he's been getting irritated with everybody, everywhere, all the time. He's getting more and more kind of hardcore, in he's changed, as David has pointed out.
Yeah.
And I think it's after Darth.
Yeah. I mean, since he started that whole thing, when he started with Darth, he's a completely different person. And would you agree, Danny? Like, I mean, you look at, you go back into this community 6 months ago, the whole entire community would always say good things about Otangelo. Atheists, YouTube channels, and, they always would say, oh, we love having Otangelo on. He has the courage to come in here and we have great conversations. And now he goes into streams and he just fights with everybody. I mean, it's really bad.
He did get almost immediately booed off, but yeah, there is a difference. I think there is something to do with the going to Darth's channel on Discord, but I think that there are very few people that respect Otangelo intellectually. Very, very few. And he's gotten popularity over the last 6 or 8 months, it seems like. And in that, so it's this sort of like infamy though, right? He's infamous. And I think that kind of builds, that factors into like a Darth complex where, you go into conversations pessimistically and then, you lash out. But I don't know. This is conjecture on my part, complete conjecture.
I think Otangelo is probably the most well-known among this, whole YouTube community. Everyone knows him.
Yeah.
Almost everyone's banned him on every platform, like Facebook, on, blogs, everything. So you got to hand it to him. I'm surprised his channel that isn't doing better for how many people are.
But he's very aggressive now. Like he just constantly overtalks people, and then he's can I finish? Can I finish?
Yeah,
and he's constantly overtalking other
that's
people.
the thing. That's the thing. When I have a disagreement with someone, and if it's the best kind of interlocutor will think that when you're interrupting them, it's for a good reason. Like, why waste your breath if the first premise, there's something wrong with the first premise, Like, hey, we can't progress the conversation if you already uttered a claim that, seems integral in the whole scheme. But Otangelo's got to finish, right? He just can't be, there's no such thing as an interjection.
Hey, Josh, Dr. Josh, how you doing today?
Out for my walk.
Out for your walk. So can you see, I guess you can't see this paper on the screen?
Not really.
Yeah, it's at a site called el-Hammam. It's east of Jericho, a few miles.
Okay.
And they're claiming that an event about 1600 BC or so happened that might be the basis of the legends about Sodom and Gomorrah. Have you heard anything about that at all, or is that something worth looking into?
It's been 2 or 3 years now, right? Maybe more.
It may be.
Yeah, I can't remember. I remember looking into it because it came up on Apologia stream that we did, and I remember thinking, I don't know anything about this, but I remember looking at it and going, okay, well, the paper that was being cited was by someone with a very clear theological.
Yeah. Southwest something college out of New Mexico.
So have you tried cross-checking this, Scott, to see if there's any other hits on this thing?
I will. The paper just came out today, but
okay.
It's a scientific report out of nature.com. So I'll keep looking into it. I just wondered if Dr. Josh, since he gets into the Old Testament study real deep, has encountered that before.
Yeah,
it has a smell to it.
The thing to remember, I think, about things like this is, like there's the eruption of Thera, right? Is that in around 1600 as well? I can't remember. But when you find things like this, people that are attempting to establish the historical reliability of the biblical text will jump on an event like this and say, aha, well, this, the Thera eruption could have caused, the Nile to have a reddish color, or maybe it caused these, waves to go up that would have drained out part of this, this body of water, allowing the Israelites to walk through. And so but these are naturalistic explanations for something that in the text is very clearly meant to be miraculous. That's the whole point.
Interesting. Tunguska sized airburst. Sorry, I was just reading. My bad.
Why?
Because I like to read, Speed. You should notice by now.
Dr. Josh, you got a request from the side chat.
Oh, I can't read it.
Otangelo's voice.
They
wanted to do an Otangelo.
No, he's a.
I don't know, Your Mania, if I can do something like Otangelo. I have to. Can I finish? Can I finish?
Well, that is a nice try, but no one is going to believe you because you do not sound like me.
I remember, I was a couple of days ago. I kept having to look at the screen to see which icon was lighting up to figure out who was talking. That was excellent.
Yeah. I have to congratulate you, Peter, on Gur's stream when you were reading Otangelo's comments, and Otangelo was actually egging you on. Keep going. He's not that. That was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
And then he came into the room and he didn't want to talk anymore as long as I was there.
Yeah,
That was funny.
yeah, that was great.
What in the hell is going on this website? This is a busy website. Holy shit. Anyway, I don't know. It looks like they've got some evidence here, archaeological evidence.
I mean, the first question to ask in this, as I'm sure you guys do with scientific stuff, is, all right, who's writing it? Where'd they go to school? Who'd they study under? What's their field? What's their specialization? Because if you get a guy that's got a PhD in like political science or something, well,
Yeah.
didn't really do much. Sorry about the dogs on me.
Well, I'm trying to find. So, did they write a paper? Is the story? Is the question on this?
That's what I had up on the screen.
Oh, yeah, but was that an actual paper? That was in what?
It was in nature.com/science report. So I don't know what the difference between a science report and a paper is. It just may be something to get out there to kind of give a overview of their findings before they do the real technical work on it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I
But
found
the
another
link is in the private chat.
And we put the link in. Yeah, we put it in public chat too. So
Yeah.
or not a public chat, in the description. So I'm putting this other link. There's another article in the Daily Mail, UK. I don't know anything about it other than that their website really sucks. They have like 50 ads on there, and you can't even find the article. It's like,
So if you're going to look for shit that is obviously not true, Daily Mail's good source.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
really
boy.
good source.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other thing.
What
that's
about the Onion?
problematic
Well,
Sorry,
the difference between the Onion and the Daily Mail is that the Daily Mail actually thinks that they're bringing news. The Onion knows that they're just
Satire.
posting satire.
So what were you saying, Josh?
I was just pointing out that the other problem is that you end up with things like, oh, we've got this event that we can date pretty firmly. And we want it to be this biblical event. So then what you end up having to do is move the timeline in the Bible around. So if you want Sodom and Gomorrah happening at 1600, I mean, you got some real problems chronologically speaking, because the Exodus happens around 1450. So I mean, if you think about your biblical timeline, like the Israelites haven't been in. Excuse me.
Yeah, they were still in their slavery, I guess, at that time, at 1650 BC.
And I mean, this is the problem with this sort of literalistic reading, and trying to make it match up. This is why it's been abandoned's not even the right word. It's not even taken seriously anymore, even by evangelicals like Hoffmeyer and Kitchen. I mean, this. Well, you guys saw it, right? Inspiring Philosophy came out with a video 4 or 5 months ago about the Exodus, and he was arguing for a traditional date, right, like a 15th century date, which is what until we learned about real aspects of Egyptian and Canaanite history. That was just sort of the traditional date because that's what you see in the biblical text. But then somebody like David Falk, who studied under Hoffmeyer at Trinity, comes along and says, "Whoa, this is laughable IP." Because nobody would hold to this traditional date anymore because you can't. That's the problem. You can't hold to it because we know what's going on in the 15th century.
Right.
It's not an Exodus. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you talk about the 1400 or whatever Exodus, you're talking about the fundamentalist timeline, or I guess
wasn't it 144,000?
No, that number has nothing to do with it.
I thought it was 100. Well, never mind.
Yeah, the date was what 1450. Is that what you said, Dr. Josh?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's kind of the conservative fundamentalist believed date. It's not what the archaeology leans to.
Right. So, like, and they get it from places like if you go to 1 Kings chapter 6, it'll talk about Solomon and the dedication of the temple. And it says in Solomon's, I'm pulling this from memory, sorry, but it's like Solomon's 4th year. He dedicated the temple 480 years after the Israelites left Egypt. Well, we know when Solomon would have reigned, it's sometime in the 10th century, let's say it's 40, 950, 960, whatever. Then you just go back 480 years and you end up in the middle of the 15th century. So that's why that date was traditional for all this time, because it's not that difficult to calculate. But then you find out, oh shit, in the 15th century, the place that they're escaping to, Canaan, it's in control, like it's under the control of the Egyptians, right? So you've got 3 million people that are supposed to be escaping from Egypt to go through all these wanderings to enter into a land controlled by Egypt.
So it's like escaping from Houston, Texas, to Texarkana, Texas.
Right. Exactly.
Can I point out? Sorry, I just need to point something else. Hey, Danny, did you pick that avatar to Trigger's feed? Isn't that Lucy from the movie Limitless? Wait, no, wrong.
This is Jodie Foster.
No. Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of reminded me of Lucy from Lucy.
Scarlett Johansson triggers me, but not exactly in that way. I'm sorry.
No, I know. For some reason, sorry to interrupt the conversation you two were having. It just reminded me.
I've never
of
tried.
Lucy.
I've never tried to trigger speed though, ever in my life.
No, I know.
I know. That's what I love about you, Danny. That's what I love about you.
Sorry, I had to comment on that. It was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, since you're commenting, I have a question for you, and it's a fairly simple one. Do you sin?
Wait, are you asking me a question?
Have you
Dr.
been talking
Josh?
to the preacher, Dr. Josh?
Yeah, do you hear? He doesn't even want to answer my simple, straightforward question.
That's right.
Midnight.
Wait, who's he talking to? Midnight, right?
Midnight, yeah.
Well, okay. Do I sin? Well, I don't believe in sin, therefore I don't sin. There you go.
Yeah. 1 John 1:8. There you go. That's who you are.
Wait, what?
Sorry, I don't do preacher very well.
Okay. Honestly, I need to go. I still need to watch that 9-hour nightmare Rage had about the preacher again.
No.
But,
all you need to do is go to Jill's channel and watch Jill's cut from that particular stream. That's all you need to watch, and
I guess
to apologize to Jill because he actually won an argument.
Wow.
With it, he said, "I'm going to debunk this guy within 5 minutes." He did. He embarrassed him to the point where he called a friend to help him out.
Wow.
Oh, is that he debunked Preacher?
Mm-hmm.
He's still a beta, though.
I talked to Preacher for like 10 minutes and then I got bored and I left.
I get surprised you lasted 10 minutes.
The part
what was
Jill
crazy
was
about it?
really funny.
Yeah,
sorry, Dr.
It was
Josh.
on 1 John, right?
Yeah.
It's like his passage. You would think that if you're going to run a cult, at least know the 2 or 3 chapters.
No. It's not a cult. Mr. Josh. Dr. Josh, it's not a cult, he said. He said it's not a cult. Right. Therefore, it's not a cult.
A relationship organization. Right? Can't call it a religion.
Which is
a relationship.
I loved how Jill pinned him down and said, "What does this mean?" And the preacher wanted to go to different verses, and he kept saying, "No. We're still on the first 3 words. Children of God, who is being addressed here? I love that. I really love that.
It was Jill's rhetorical, strategies put to good use for once.
Yeah, for once. Yeah, I have to agree. And I would love to see a one-on-one between Jill and the preacher, but they would need a moderator, and they'd need a moderator who knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
You know
so
what?
midnight is out.
I volunteer for that. I say it here publicly. I will volunteer for that.
I'd volunteer for that as well.
I'd volunteer for that as well, just to get some practice in.
You might volunteer for something different when we get to that later, midnight.
Okay,
You are going to be addressed on this stream, not by me.
You're starting to scare us now.
Yeah.
Okay, Speed. Do you want to do it now then?
Yep.
Or do you want to wait?
Well, I don't know how to answer that, Peter. When you ask me if I want to do something, I really don't know how to answer that, Peter. I never know how to answer that.
Yeah,
my first impulse is to run away.
Yes or no question, Speed. It's a yes or no question.
My first impulse is to end the stream. But then,
well,
you might
you might like what I have to bring to the table. Midnight, on the other hand, might be pissed off a bit.
Yeah.
okay.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Okay. I do not want to make the decision here, Peter. You're in the stream, so.
What do you think, Midnight?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be pissed, so we should probably not do it.
All Speed has to do is share my screen.
Yeah, but okay, Midnight's got to approve this. I'm gonna leave it up to you, Midnight.
Yeah, hold on a sec. I mean,
are you prevaricating, Midnight?
Are you taking your meds?
Are you trying to fiddlebuster the stream?
Fiddlebuster.
No, I was responding to a text.
Fiddlebuster.
Well, for fuck's sake, you are in a stream. Concentrate on this, and then go to the text once the stream is finished.
Kids today,
How
they
many
can't
times
focus.
have I told you?
They just can't focus.
Just say yes, Midnight, and we can carry on.
No.
Okay.
Say yes, Midnight, and we can carry on.
Okay. We're gonna have to get it.
No.
Wait. On the other hand, better say no.
I just did. I said no.
Yeah. That's the better choice. Say no. Just say no, Midnight.
I did. I said no.
So can you guys still hear this cat purring, or is that
Speed? Share my screen.
I can't show your screen because
I dare you to share.
Midnight said no.
Since when is Midnight running the stream for you? Since when are you afraid of Midnight?
I'm not afraid of Midnight. I just, I'm not going to go against his wishes. Not going against his wishes. I'm sorry, Peter.
Share the screen. Come on.
I do the same for you.
I'm doing something for you, so share the screen.
Yeah, but
I mean, if you're doing something for Speed, I'll just leave, and you don't.
No. You have to be here. You have to be here.
Well, no, hang on. You didn't hear me out. You did not hear me out.
I don't have to hear you.
I'm not going to let you finish because you never let me finish.
Speed, share my screen. Do me a favor.
I can't do it.
You can because you already shared this.
I did?
You did.
Nope. Not without Midnight's approval.
What I'm going to play is part of a stream on your channel.
Who's on my channel? You mean my stream?
On your channel.
You mean your
I'm going to share your content.
I'm going to give you a copyright strike if you do that.
and only your. You can't give me a copyright strike for sharing your content on your channel, Speed.
I'm going to
not how that
copyright
works.
strike myself then.
Yeah.
That'll teach you.
Well, share my screen. Let's piss off Midnight.
Moving on.
Share my screen. For fuck's sake.
I can't.
I've got.
One quick announcement. Excuse me. I just wanted to remind everybody that Friday is it? Danny's going to be interviewing Daniel J. Nicholson, and if you want a link to that, it will be. It was in yesterday's chit chat that we had. We had a stream yesterday, didn't we?
Well, to be honest, when is Friday? Because I'm a bit confused.
Oh, yeah. The 24th.
According to Speed, yesterday was Saturday.
Was it?
So when is Friday?
Of September.
No, you don't understand. You don't understand relative dating and subjective dating that atheists are subject to.
I know for a fact that when I look at my calendar says it's Sunday, and then I see Saturday night at the Atheist come on. Someone's wrong.
That's because of relative dating. Because we don't have God telling us what day of the week it is, so there's no way for atheists to figure it out. So Saturday night at the Atheist can be any day that we decide.
Well, I thought the Saturday stream was better, which is why I clipped something from that. But you don't.
Well, Germania took the entire 24-hour slot that is Saturday and was streaming, so there was just no competing with that.
Which is why everyone missed your stream on Saturday, where you said something really important.
I did.
You did.
I always say something really important, so I don't.
But you don't want me to repeat that on stream. You're scared.
So wait a minute. Okay, if it's something Speed said, what the fuck do I have to do with it?
Well, you'll just have to sit and wait until Speed allows me to play it.
But I thought it had to do with me, not Speed.
And then you're gonna be pissed off.
We have to wait for midnight to say it's
Am
okay.
I gonna be pissed? Am I gonna be pissed off at Speed or you?
All I need from you is a clear yes, Speed, and then we can carry on.
You mean midnight?
Midnight. Do we have a yes, midnight?
It'll be all right, midnight. You'll get over it.
Yeah. It'll take some time. It'll take some time.
When
Don't give in,
get
midnight.
over it.
Don't give in. These people are manipulating you.
Yeah.
Really, Danny? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Midnight, you're a little bit like Otangelo at the moment.
That's the devil talking.
Scared of evidence.
The whole chat is screaming to let Peter do it.
Be free,
Yeah,
midnight.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, well, no, with this build-up, I don't know if we should play it, you know?
We should.
No.
We might
Okay.
all be disappointed.
No, I think we should set up a pay-per-view event.
The coward
there you
Midnight
go.
has to say yes first, and the coward Midnight's probably not going to say that.
I'm opting for a pay-per-view. $10 each.
Okay. If Peter, you're confusing the hell out of me. Okay.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Midnight.
Have I ever said anything mean
Make
about
a choice. Make a choice. Yes
Midnight.
or no? Say yes, Midnight.
Midnight's a beta.
Get it over with. Yeah, you're a beta. Armenia's right.
I mean,
Oh, we're gonna start calling you Noon instead of Midnight.
Yeah.
That's what Dre's. I'll send.
okay. Well, okay. What I don't get is that you're showing speed stream from yesterday, right? You're saying you're saying it's gonna fit.
No.
Oh, I think I know. Yeah, this isn't that bad. Is it?
Just say yes, Midnight.
All right, fine. Yes, play the damn clip.
Okay, here we go.
And then we got all these should I call them assholes that change the name of their they change their name all the time, so you don't know who the hell you're talking to. People, you should stick with one name when you have like a YouTube persona. I think one name is a good idea because that way people know who the hell they're talking to. And then we got all these. There
you go.
Okay. See, that wasn't so hard, was it, Midnight?
No, but what are we doing?
What are we doing?
You didn't listen?
No, I didn't hear anything. There was no sound.
Yeah, we didn't hear anything.
There was no sound?
No.
I heard it.
I didn't hear it.
I heard it. What the hell?
You must need to adjust something there, Speed.
Wait a minute. No, if he hit the sound, but if he hit the sound button, it would have shared. I heard it fine through.
I literally didn't hear anything except you guys talking.
I didn't hear anything.
Wow, that's weird because I heard it fine. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing I can do. It's Peter's share, so he's in charge.
Let me try again.
And then we got all these shall I call them assholes that change the name of their they change their name all the time, so you don't know who the hell you're talking to. People, you should stick with one name when you have like a YouTube persona. I think one name is a good idea because that way people know who the hell they're talking to.
Oh, okay. Now I heard it. I did hear it, but I thought it was actually Speed talk. You know what?
I know, me too. I thought you were actually talking, Speed.
Okay, so you boomers got a little bit confused about the internets, right? Is that what happened?
Why would I be mad about that, Peter? You scared the
The
shit out of
only
me.
guy that would know he's not talking.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? I was worried as fuck. I was like,
I saved this. I will add this to my soundboard.
The internets is a little confusing.
you know
for
what,
you guys,
Peter?
right?
You know what, Peter? I don't get. You know what? I love you. You put a smile on my face. Thanks. That was beautiful.
And now you've learned. Whenever I ask you to do something, you just say yes.
Yes.
Fine. Okay. From now on, if you ask me to do something, I'll just say yes. Fuck the consequences.
So
Which there wasn't any consequences. I wasn't worried. I wasn't. It's just Midnight's gonna be pissed off. I'm like, no, you kidding me? That's funny as fuck. I like having different names. I like confusing people at times.
So that airburst meteor thing seems to be legitimate.
Christ, I was worried for nothing. Sorry, like again, I need to apologize for wasting 10 minutes with that.
Yeah. There's an actual paper on it, so I don't know. Looks legitimate.
I'm looking
It's
at the.
interesting.
I clicked on the link for the geologist on there. His name's Alan West. The name sounds familiar, but I don't know why.
What's the conclusion?
Okay, let's see. Where's the conclusion of the article? Geological context. We've got a bunch of pictures. Looks like they did some digging. Wow, it's pretty big. Well, let's just share the screen.
What is that? Is that Peter? What the fuck? Is anyone else hear it?
That's his cat. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. What are you doing, Thor? He's snoring, I think. My cat is snoring.
That's cute. That was very cute. I thought it was Peter for some reason. But
Shall I read what appears to be the abstract of this paper?
Yes.
We present evidence that in 1650 BCE, approximately 3,600 years ago, a cosmic airburst destroyed Tal el-Hammam, a Middle Bronze Age city in the southern Jordan Valley, northeast of the Dead Sea. The proposed airburst was larger than the 1908 explosion over Tunguska, Russia, where a 50-mile wide bolide detonated with 1,000 times more energy than the Hiroshima atomic bomb. A citywide 1.5 meter thick carbon, I guess that's meter, maybe it's mile, I don't know. Carbon and ash
meter.
Okay. Rich destruction layer contains peak concentrations of shocked quartz, melted pottery, and mud bricks, diamond-like carbon, soot, iron, and silicon-rich spherules, whatever those are, calcium carbonate spherules from melted plaster. Am I getting this right? And melted platinum, iridium, nickel, gold, silver, zircon, chromite, and quartz. Heating experiments indicate temperatures exceeded 2,000 degrees Celsius. Amid city, I think that's citywide devastation, the airburst demolished 12 plus meters of the 4 to 5 story palace complex and the massive 4 meter thick multi-rock rampart, which while causing extreme disarticulation and skeletal fragmentation in nearby humans. Somebody was going to say something?
Oh, no. It was mud brick rampart. I was being pedantic. I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole.
An airburst related influx of salt, I'm going to skip the parentheses, produced hypersalinity, inhibited agriculture, and caused a 300 to 600 year-long abandonment of 120 regional settlements within a greater than 25-kilometer radius. Tal el-Hammam may be the second oldest city or town destroyed by a cosmic airburst impact after Abu Hurayya, Syria, and possibly the earliest site with an oral tradition that was written down. Tunguska scale airbursts can devastate entire cities, regions, and thus pose a severe modern-day hazard.
Can you mute Peter? I think it's Peter that's
No,
making
it's
that
the
weird
cat.
sound.
I think it's your cat speech.
That's my cat. Thor, wake up. Fuck. Stop doing that.
I don't know. It's
Can I wake him up?
sorry to interrupt you, Scott. Again.
No problem.
You only love it if it's not me, Midnight. That is what you're saying.
What was that?
You only love it if it's not me. You said mute Peter, and then Speed said it's my cat, and then you said I love it.
No, I didn't.
I got him purring now. Okay, he's purring instead of snoring. Is that better?
I think you're hearing things, Peter, because I did not say I love it.
I heard
Yes,
you
you
say
did.
that.
Everyone heard you say that.
Oh, let's just all try to get along, okay? Whatever Midnight thinks he said, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So anyway,
you forget that when you come on streams like this, we know you're transparent.
well, this would be
Wow.
okay. This would be a pretty significant event, and I'm pretty sure it would have some historical. Somebody would have talked about it, right, Dr. Josh? Don't you think?
I mean, just based on the abstract, it's hard to know. Sorry, there's something that's sort of standing out to me that next to last line, where it said that possibly the oldest oral tradition written down. Is that what it said? Did I hear that right?
Yeah. It's like they're trying not to go, oh boy, we've proved Sodom and Gomorrah, but they're
do they know?
giving it a
Do they know
lifetime.
anything about Mesopotamia? I mean, like, do they know anything about Egypt? I mean, what?
Yep.
I mean, my God, that's unless they mean something completely different.
Earliest
that's
site
just-
with an oral tradition that was written down. That is a little suspect.
Yeah.
I mean, the city of Ai was destroyed, mid-third millennium, and wasn't reoccupied until either the late second millennium or the early first millennium. I can't remember. And certainly, the name Ai means ruins. So, yeah.
So the city of ruins?
Yeah, because that's what it was. And it's just
The
a
ruined
destroyed
city.
site that was never rebuilt.
Where do you live? The ruined city that was not named by a real estate developer.
Okay, now that's a cat.
Yep, that's a cat. I don't know what to do about this cat. I don't know. I can't disturb him because that would be cruel. I don't like cruelty to animals, so I don't know. I guess I could mute.
I mean, you're cruel. You're cruel to humans, and humans are animals.
Yeah, you got a point there. I am cruel to humans.
We could rename the show the Thor Report. And as long as he's asleep, everything's okay.
Just use duct tape.
Yep.
Well, I do have him duct taped to the microphone. So it's the only way to keep him from knocking it over. He just walks around with it. Anyway, so what else is going on, guys?
Well, let's see. Peter's getting actually, no, never mind.
I'm getting what?
I was gonna make a joke about you getting married, but that didn't really make much sense.
Yeah, it wouldn't work either. To who?
Right, good point. Smoky paint.
Which of the two, and would the other one be disappointed?
I don't know.
Holy shit. What was that, Thor?
How is me getting married a joke? I'm just curious.
Are you getting married? Did you say that?
No.
Oh.
Let me be the first to offer congratulations.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that you were getting married.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Cancel Peter, you need to accept Jesus. The shroud is evidence. I love
you
these
need
socks.
to accept
Goddamn.
Jesus. The shroud is evidence.
You
And you can't refute the fact that the shroud is evidence because you cannot come up with evidence against the shroud, and therefore the shroud is real.
And therefore, fuck you, Peter. The shroud, the shroud was created by alchemy.
Midnight, go wash your mouth with soap.
I mean, I was about to leave, so I will do that.
What is smoky paint?
Apparently it's a sock making fun of Smoky Saint.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I'm not sure who it is. Okay. This is the kind of lack of focus where I always want to shoot my weather report in the head.
I mean, it's your weather report. You can.
Yeah. Well, lack of focus. We suffer lack of focus. Anyway,
Yes.
the
Thank
description
God
is-
Danny left. That's all
The
I'm gonna say.
description, by the way, the description is chock full of stuff on Fodor and natural selection. I found 8 videos based on something Danny just threw out when he was talking. And I went and did a little Google search, and Hell in a Handbasket has 8 videos that you don't go through it. And these philosophers kind of drive me crazy sometimes.
Hey, we philosophers, we philosophers try our best.
Yeah. But it, makes you think about it, but it's kind of interesting. I just think there's something really rigid about some of their attacks.
When Midnight says we philosophers, that brought a smile on my face.
Be nice, Peter. Be nice, Peter. Did we lose Dr. Josh?
Yes.
We lost Dr. Josh.
I think he probably had to go inside.
We lost Danny as well. He said wife duties. I'm not sure what that means. But
Whatever that means, holy shit.
I'm guessing he has to do the dishes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, no. I can imagine him all tied up in leather and a ball gag.
He said, got to go, wife duties. So he is someone's wife in some... Otherwise, why would he... Why? I don't get it.
Well, it's very simple.
Germania, you are a coward and a disappointment. My conversation still hasn't happened. So go make that happen.
Germania, come on in here. I got a bone to pick with you.
Oh,
why? Nice. What did he do?
I want to see that.
Oh, what didn't he do? What didn't he do? That's the question. What did he not do that he should have done?
lay you into the stream?
Uh,
Oh wait, you did join the stream. That 10-hour shit show.
yeah.
Good God, that was a fucking shit show.
Well, there was 5 hours of it that was actually pretty good, and there was 5 hours of it that was pretty much a waste of everybody's fucking time.
Yep.
And that just happened to coincide with the 5 hours that Otangelo was allowed to overtalk everyone, completely disrupt every fucking conversation, just fuck the hell out of the stream. But anyway, and Gurmania, he's apparently suffering from what I suffered from a few months back. This kind of nice guy problem, where you can't.
No, Gurmania's a beta.
Yeah, he's a beta, fucking soy beta boy. Yeah. So my son tells me that every time I mention that Maddox uses soy boy, my son tells me that it's some sort of incel thing or some fucking thing, and he tells me that they shouldn't use it, or I don't know. I'm not sure. Does anybody know anything about that? Do you know the background of soy boy?
The whole soy boy thing came out way before the whole incel thing, but it gets mishmashed in there, right? Because a lot of incels, don't know how to talk to women, or you have no social skills as well, and they're weak. You know what I mean? So this is why they're called soy boys.
Just for John Maddox's sake, I'm going to tick the boxes. I ticked all of them so far. Go ahead, Midnight.
Okay.
Well, that was it. Like the whole soy boy thing, was around even before the whole incel thing, right? Just because you're a soy boy doesn't mean you're an incel. And just because you're an incel doesn't mean you're a soy boy.
Okay.
Well, so what does it mean to be an incel?
An incel, as I understand it, and there's fem cells as well.
Involuntarily celibate.
Yeah, involuntarily incel. An incel is a member of an online culture of people who define themselves as unable to get a romantic or sexual partner despite desiring one. Discussions in incel forums are often what?
I'm just checking for John Maddox. All checked so far.
Okay. Let me start over. Incel. An incel is a member of an online subculture of people who define themselves as unable to get a romantic or sexual partner despite desiring one. As far as I know, Maddox has never said that, unless he has.
He's never said that, but you don't have to say it in order for it to be true. He's part of an online community. There are no women who want to engage with him.
Right, but that doesn't make him an incel. He has to show...
He's involuntarily celibate.
But that literally applies to everybody in this room, then.
No, it doesn't apply to me. Speak for yourself.
Well,
yeah, I'm voluntarily celibate. So, I don't know.
Moving on. I don't feel like...
Yeah.
Discussions in incel forums are often characterized by resentment.
Oh my God. Did you hear Danny say he had sex with a 72-year-old?
Oh my God, I was reading.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I immediately saw that in my mind, you and Danny having sex.
Oh my God.
God damn it. Why the fuck do you gotta put that in my eye?
Oh, Peter, why did you say that?
Discussions in incel forums are often...
Peter's gone.
Discussions in incel forums are often characterized by resentment and hatred, misogyny, misinterpreting, self-pity, and self-loathing, racism, a sense of entitlement to sex, and the endorsement of violence against women.
You're still describing Maddox.
Okay, cool. I'm done.
Describing Maddox.
Maddox was a soy boy? Oh, that's why he uses that soy boy icon all the time. He admits it. So I got to hand it to him. He admits it. And that's fine. So I don't know. But I thought soy boy referred to the latte crowd, soybeans and, stuff like that.
So,
isn't that where it came from?
Speed, I hate to do this, but I'm going to go. And, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.
But better do that.
Where does Midnight go when he goes like this?
And soils himself.
Well, here's the thing. It's my boyfriend's birthday, and I'm going to talk to him.
Yeah, but you just like right in the middle of a whole thing, you just suddenly midnight goes, and then he goes, and it's like
Well,
we're just wondering where you go and what you do.
where do I go? Let's see. I go, I go to people's streams.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I
Smokey
just,
has a stream. Okay, Smokey on live right now.
I don't think so. I'm going to talk to my boyfriend.
We still have the other soy boy in the side chat. Germania, get your ass in here.
You know what? You know what, Peter? I'm a soy boy, and I'm proud of it. Fuck you. Have a nice day. I'm obviously, you know what? I'm gonna go now.
You're white. You're white enough to be an artificial dairy product.
With American, we'll see. Merging with United.
Okay, hey guys, let's kill this thing while we're ahead. What do you think?
Ahead? We're ahead.
Well, yeah. Okay, you got a point there. We're drastically falling behind. Anyway.
Kind of a shitty stream today. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
Could have gone into natural selection a little bit.
Germania, Speed asked you to join, and then put in the link. So just join.
Because I was going to yell at you.
We don't care if you don't wanna.
I guess it'd be better if I yell at him when he's not in the stream. I could just yell at him from here. It's like, Jesus Christ, when Otangelo is doing...
Run from it again.
When Otangelo occupies 4 fucking hours, and he continually does that, can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? And on and on and on. Jesus Christ, mute that motherfucker. Put him in the back room. Make him rage quit. Yeah, yell at you, Germania. Now, that was a perfectly good stream, except for that 4 hours where you let Otangelo just fucking run you all over the place. I don't know.
I suggest that every single time Otangelo says, "Can I finish?" that we
You
all
mute him.
reply is, "What do you want? A tissue or a sock? What's your preference?"
That's what I started thinking when he says, "Can I finish?" I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but it just occurred to me the other day, and now I can't unthink it. I'm having trouble unthinking it. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, he goes into this interrupt mode, and it just turns the stream into a bunch of white noise. It's just really bad. Anyway, thank you, Germania. Be better. Yeah, try to be better. But then the problem with if you put Otangelo in the back room once or twice, he rage quits, which kind of solves the fucking problem. Yeah. Because that was a pretty damn good stream. You had a lot of good people on there talking, and even Maddox was, pretty civil, and he was putting out his stuff and shit, And then right smack in the middle is like, Otangelo. Oh, my God.
Germania says LPP brought way more to the convo than Otangelo. When did you have LPP on?
He was on the whole time.
When?
On
Friday night.
Yeah.
Or Saturday night.
After I left?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LPP was on there like for 6-7 hours.
No, Friday night he wasn't on there very long. It was Saturday that was real long, wasn't it?
Yeah, let's see. Where the fuck?
Yeah, the Saturday night.
And Germania did not send me an email. So LPP was on, and I didn't get an email. Fuck you, Germania.
He was on for, I don't know, he was on for at least 5 hours. So I don't know. It was a lot of stuff.
I mean, when he joins, he has to be on for at least 5 hours because he talks.
Yeah, takes a long time.
Very slow.
And what did you think about the exchange with Jason too? Him calling Jason an idiot and he's stupid, doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, that was. What do you think about that?
LPP called Jason a PhD, an idiot, and stupid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see that part?
Yeah, the part about machine code and Python and stuff like that. And and I got on shortly after that because it just kills me.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that much about programming. You wouldn't say that if you knew anything about programming. You wouldn't say it was machine code. Okay, machine code has a very specific meaning, and it just kind of And Jason said, "No, you're wrong." And like John was like, "Oh no, you're an idiot." It's like I'm right. So anyway, I watched Gur streams and it made me blind for 48 hours. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it will make you blind. Watching Gur streams.
Yep.
If it doesn't give you the cancer first.
Or the syphilis of the brain. It gives you syphilis of the brain and a number of other things. So do not go there. And I link this video in the description so that you know where not to go. So it's Jason.
Yeah.
Hey, so what did you think of that whole exchange with John Maddox the other night, Jason?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to turn you up a little bit.
Yeah. I can try to speak closer to my mic. I don't know.
I got it.
Okay.
You're good. Yep.
Yeah. That, I was like mentally exhausted after that. I don't know how long I was on there. I was on there a long time.
4 or 5 hours, yeah.
Yeah, he was doing the same old thing.
It's a code.
Yeah, and like by the end of the stream, I mean, I was willing to acknowledge that there are facets of DNA that act like code, but I think me and this other guy, Pat Lowinger, who I know pretty well, we're trying to like have an honest discussion with the guy about how you can make some allusions to that, but John wants to say it is identical to what we see in programming code, and I was trying to get him to say, look, you want to make these references to their aspects that act like code, okay, but your point is that in order for he wants to get to the point where there's a code maker, that there is some intelligent being that has to create that code, and he didn't really he wants to say that, but he doesn't really want to talk about that.
Right, he doesn't want to nail down the inference from it's a code to God had to write the code. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to go on and on around the literature, of which, obviously there's a lot of literature out there that references the genetic instructions as a form of a code, and he pounces on that if anybody's going to say that there's no way at all that it has any code-like aspects. And so, yeah. Go ahead.
All those papers that he references, Ball and Whitney and all those guys that are into the biosemiotics and stuff, they say it like in their abstract, right? They'll mention something about, it's like this, but then they will argue with each other over exactly how it is and exactly what to do about it. And none of them conclude the way John does for intelligent design. And he keeps leaving that part out. But I mean, there's this whole group, and they publish in the Royal Society very often. And I get a paper a day on biosemiotics and information and biology. And it's something that a whole group of people are working on. In fact, they have an organization that they set up for biosemiotics. And they're going on and on about it, but none of them talk about it in the way that Maddox talks about it. It's just...
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting, and I don't have the time. I mean, he's like, look, I have a folder where all for what's called for the annoying people with all these citations. And I was like, so the people that want the citations are annoying. Those are annoying people. They actually want to look at the citations. But if you went through all those citations, what would be interesting is if you're actually able to communicate with some of those people and say, a lot of people are using some of your literature to make references that this is identical to programming code and having supporting evidence for an intelligent designer. It'd be curious as to what they would say about that. If they
I'm going to reach out to a few of them because they make their email available, like Ball and Whitney and there's a couple others. There's a whole group, but I mean, I've gone through all those papers, and I love the idea of trying to apply this new biosemiotic information theoretic platform to biology. and they're trying to work this out. But when you read these papers, you kind of get the overall impression of like this is something that really isn't coming up with any results yet. You know, they're not yielding results, and that is a problem. So,
I mean, it's not a big surprise that as we learn more and more about how DNA is formed and its structure, that it has aspects that are comparable to the way that we've abstractly organized information at a macro level. I mean, it makes sense that we've analyzed the way that information is encoded, and that we've come up with kind of an abstract structure of that, and we use it for our own methods of like code development. It's not a big surprise that there are some facets of the biochemical aspects that can be abstracted out in that same manner. Big deal. I don't think that that's any like legitimate support for a designer whatsoever. That it can't be stochastic. It can't have levels of uncertainty and randomness that are the result of that. That's where I think is the weakness of the argument. You can make a point that there are facets that look like the code that we construct, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it was organizationally formed by an intelligent designer. So,
well, here's something. It's another interesting aspect of that is, okay, life itself is, about. You could say it's about information, right? And what are we? And what are human brains but a result of life itself? Yep. So we are the result of life. Does it surprise us that the things that we come up with are like life, right? Like our brains and our tool making and what we do as humans, basically we are organisms that are just, pretty far up there on the complexity thermometer, right? We're pretty high up there. And it's not surprising that we do things that simulate life itself because we are life. That's where we fucking came from. That's how we learned how to think, and all this stuff. And the other thing he does is he talks about Microsoft is spending billions of dollars trying to use DNA as a storage medium. I don't know why, because we have some pretty damn good silicon storage mediums right now. But anyway, they're into this, coming up with a way to use DNA as storage. So what? I mean, that doesn't mean that God did the same thing Microsoft is doing, right?
I mean once again, he's trying to make an inference that that we can store information in a biochemical manner within molecules. We can actually store information. Therefore, if we can store information in that, and we generate things that we store information in, that the mechanism of how that biochemical structure formed had to have happened by some intelligent being. He's making an inference, and I think that's a false inference. I don't think that we don't have any direct evidence of that. It's the same thing that Otangelo does, which he's like, there's, look at life. There's no way that could have formed other than this like inductive elimination thing that he mentions. I think it has a reference to that, those type of analogous, those inference approaches, which I don't think are valid.
And the truth of the matter is we could take glycans, which are, complicated sugar molecules, and we could even store richer information in those. It doesn't have, like DNA is a linear molecule, whereas glycans branch, they could have all kinds of, so like it would be a network system, so we could use any molecule, and we can also do it by putting pebbles in a row. So humans use tools, and we can use DNA as a tool or sugars as a tool. Big deal. So what? I always want to, like, every time Maddox brings up something, I always find myself saying, so what? So what?
Yeah, I mean, that actually is a good point to talk to him about, which is like, It's the same thing that like Pine Creek did. I mean, I'm using a very loose reference, but like just admitting, just being like, okay, John, for the sake of this discussion, let's say that DNA functions like a code. It's a code. I'll give you that. It's a code. Fine. It operates like a code. It has the Shannon information theory aspects, has that in it. Fine. Well, let's go to the next step. Why are you bringing that up? Like, what is your point? I tried to get at that.
Yeah.
And I think he mentioned that, like, he feels like he has a good argument for the intelligent designer, but that he can never get past the point of talking to atheists about it being a code. I feel like you had to just like give him that and be like, I'm not admitting it, but for the sake of this discussion, let's just say it is a code. Let's go to the next step and talk about what does that mean in terms of intelligent design and the designer. Is that the purpose of saying it's a code?
Yeah, I did that in chat the other day, and he got all pissed when I did that in chat.
The problem is that he infers this in his mind. He has a belief, and he has not analyzed that inference, that step from A infers B, okay? And because he has not analyzed it, he takes it on he is so absolutely convinced that if anybody looks at this, they're going to see the same thing that he sees, that he can't even get to the point where he can articulate why he believes what he believes.
Yeah.
And that is a problem. And that happens a lot. Somebody like Otangelo does it too. He is so absolutely certain that, basically if you just look at biology, you'll draw the same conclusion I do. If you'll just look at basically what they call the facts, you'll automatically go to this inference. And it's really crazy. And that's why John gets frustrated with other people. And that's why we get frustrated with John, because we have a whole different body of knowledge and we view it in an entirely different way than he does.
I'm fine with and actually this gets to the aspects of like, why I harp on Maddox about his lack of knowledge in this area. Like he hates that. He despises me because I bring this up. But the reality is that if his attitude is a very he wants to immediately go to the ad homs and he wants to get very irritated at me saying, look, you don't have a background in this area. Like if he were to say, I'm not upset about that at all. I don't have a background in this area. That doesn't refute the fact of what I'm saying on these topics. Let's talk about the issues. Like if we can just be like scientists attack each other all the time. And when you start to get angry and call people names and stuff, you've lost the battle. But then the other side is like, oh man, you lost, because you're taking this personally. I don't want him to take it personally. Like I'm even willing to say, look, for certain aspects of this do act like code, but and I'm sorry to run on, but the thing is that Otangelo hates it when I'm saying things like, look, you're making an inference that because we don't have knowledge of exactly how life began, therefore it's impossible that natural systems created life. And that's absolutely incorrect. Just because we don't know doesn't mean that there isn't a natural solution to that. That's why I say, look, Otangelo is inferring there's a God by lack of natural evidence. And the same thing is if DNA is a code, then is the inference that you can't possibly form life randomly, given the fact that there is a code or there's a structure there. That's where I think is the weakness in the argument. There's no evidence to suggest they're any supernatural being, but we have tons of evidence that there are natural processes that create things. And just because we don't know about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So
right, and it's the same with any step of evolution. Like, okay, we have two species today, like A and B, that we know about, right? We have we have their genetic, we have their entire genome mapped, right? We have two species, and 98 or 95% of it is similar to ours. Okay. And then, so what we do is we project back to a species X that could have evolved into either A or B. Now, when they say we have no proof, all you have to show them is between A and B, you got that 5% difference. We know that mutations happen. We only have 4 letters. These 4 letters can all turn into each other. There's absolutely no reason why X could not have turned into A or X turned into B. And then they'll say, well, it's irreducible complexity. There's no way that it would have survived during that transformation. So our job as evolutionists is to start to show them in very small steps exactly how that happened. Because when you study molecular biology, embryology, and population genetics and evolution, you start to be able to visualize all that you need to do in order to make that inference, right? In order to see that, yes, this is possible. This could have happened this way. So I see it, but they don't see it. Now, when I read molecular biology, I'm not sitting there thinking, I got to prove natural selection. I got to prove this. I'm applying a kind of a loose methodological naturalism to thinking, well, how could X have come to be, A? What are the steps? So I look at the steps, but when they read it, they only read the parts that they want to see. It seems only the parts that tell you that it's really hard, or I don't know. It's really odd, but we're both looking supposedly at the same information and seeing different things. But in a lot of ways, when they read molecular biology or evolution, I do not think that their goal is to actually understand the mechanism. I think their goal is to find out how the mechanism couldn't possibly happen. Right?
Yeah, I mean, we are looking at the same information. However, one side is looking at it from the context that the improbability is justification for a supernatural explanation. And when we say improbability, Otangelo would connote improbability with impossibility, and that it's so highly. But here's the thing: his assessment, and I say him, because frankly, he doesn't even know anything about that assessment. But if we took somebody that works in this area that says that there is X probability of life forming randomly, and that probability is extremely high, that assumes that you have full knowledge of of natural systems. Like, there are unknown things that we may say, look, we didn't know about X, and now that we include X, that changes the probability. We don't know certain things. Because we don't know something doesn't mean that it's impossible. And I think that's, you can get down into the nitty gritty detail, but the reality is, from a methodological naturalism perspective, all things that we know about have a naturalistic, based on the laws of nature, the laws of physics. Those are the causes of those things, and we've never seen anything that is caused that is supernatural. So if you want to say God is natural, that changes the course of things. If you want to say God functions within the natural world and the laws of physics, that's a different question. I don't think I don't think they could say that, because God is omnipotent and omnibenevolent and does all these things that are outside the laws of nature. So it's
but God could have done it all using the laws of nature, just like He created me, going from a zygote to what I am now. Right? You could say he didn't do every step of that. He didn't perform magic on every step of me becoming an embryo, developing in the womb and turning into who I am now. It was, you could say that God created the zygote in my mom's womb as a miracle, but from there on, it was natural processes. So you could do the same thing all the way back to the Big Bang. And I don't know why they just don't accept that and just move on, accept all the science. But
ultimately, that first mover has got to, they've got to say, but nobody created God, and that God's not within. God doesn't have to obey the laws of nature. God is external to the laws of nature. God's not limited by the laws of nature, and therein lies the problem. Because if God does,
he's not prevented from using the laws of nature. Supposedly, God created the laws of nature, so basically, those are God's tools to do things, right?
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you could make a better argument would be abiogenesis did occur, but it was initiated by God somehow. But God he's doing it in a way that we can understand. You know,
God created the elements with carbon being of the nature of such a structure that it could create all this complexity. There's no reason not to include that.
What's the famous quote? I think it's by Galileo. It's either Galileo or Newton that says, I don't believe, it's Galileo, that I don't believe in a God who gave us intelligence and rational thought and intended us to forego their use.
Right.
Like God, I don't believe in a God that would have given me reason and it expects me to ignore my ability to reason.
Yeah. But like methodological naturalism, if I opened my garage door and my Cadillac was upside down with a pony tied to the bumper and there was a clown and a dead hooker on top of the car, I wouldn't say
it was God
did it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say, how in the fuck did this happen? And then I would start to work it out, right? And then check the garage door, see if it's been jimmied, figure out figure out whether somebody's pranking me. I mean, we'd look for all sorts of natural causes, right? We wouldn't just automatically assume God did that. It's and then walk away.
I mean, you'd be like, did I take the wrong meds this morning?
Right. Did I start drinking again?
Yeah.
Because actually, that's a true story, but we'll get into that in another weather report.
That's more reasonable. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah. So I guess my general sense of that stream was, it got me pretty heated, but then by the end, I kind of calmed down a little bit.
Yeah. And I like the way that other guy handled him. What was his name?
Pat Lowinger. I've known Pat for a while, and he and I want to do a double debate against like young Earth creationists, folks like that. So, but we've been having a hard time finding anybody that will talk to us.
Yeah, I sent you 3 emails yesterday trying to get you to come to basically.
I was so busy, and I'm sorry I didn't reply, but like I had family stuff to deal. I had things that like were more pressing than.
Yeah, when I did the third one, I thought, this is kind of like stalkerish.
No.
Kind of getting stocky.
No.
Anyway, okay.
So when I heard you talking about this stuff, I felt compelled to come on and say my piece.
Yeah, there was a lot there. I mean, there was a lot of shit to discuss. The thing about the machine code where he went off on you about Python and whatever. It's just I just don't think most programmers would say that those things are compiled into machine code, right? Because we have a very specific use for machine code, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to and this is an example of like I don't have a problem, like if I say something and it's not absolutely correct and somebody doesn't consider it absolutely correct, I don't have a problem being like, okay, maybe I wasn't clear enough in what I was saying. I'm fine, making that clarification. I'm fine with that, and I'm fine with acknowledging that like at a base level, like Python's got like a virtual machine interpreter that does some form of compilation. But typically, when you think of things like Python and certainly like PHP and JavaScript, those are scripting languages. And
Java.
I mean, Python's is an interpreted language. When people say interpreted language, you think not using a compiler. So anyways, I mean, but I was willing to be like, hey, John, like if you want to get specific about like whether Python has a virtual, like a virtual Python machine that does some compilation aspects, that's fine. And I'm fine with admitting it. So
I don't know if it's still the case, but C++ was written in C originally, and
Right.
it compiled to C, and then C was compiled to machine code, basically, which is kind of interesting. But the very first, like well, in fact, C itself was written in C. So there's a tiny C compiler.
Yeah.
And the tiny C basically produces, assembler, for a particular machine. But then they started using tiny C to extend C itself. And then it went to C++. But those are actual machine code compilers. It's compiled down to the machine code. But
and I mean, and frankly, like Maddox would have done himself a lot. He would have been better served to be totally calm and cool about it and be like,
yeah,
I disagree with you. I think that it is compiled, and this is why I think it's compiled. And and like just not get so like animated about it, which is fine. But he didn't.
Icarus says not the case anymore. C++ compiles directly to machine code, probably. I don't know. Yeah, but the neat thing is the original C++, the classes were basically they would create C structs. So you would have there's a struct in C, and inside that struct they would have pointers to functions. And so those are the functions in your class. So the original C++ was just really, really complicated C code, which is kind of cool. But anyway.
And I don't even like, I consider myself a natural scientist. I am interested in hypotheses that are around natural systems, and I use computational systems to explore. Go ahead.
Do you guys want to hear something else interesting about C++?
Sure.
Okay, structs. I find it interesting that structs and classes are basically the same. The only difference, there's a few differences. One, structs start out public already. You know what I mean? So if you create a struct, if you just add like a couple of variables, you'll be able to access those structs publicly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But classes are private by default.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now the interesting thing. Okay, Jason, would you mind reminding me what the difference between protected and private are?
What?
Okay, let me repeat. Hold on.
Do I remind you what the difference between protected?
Well, I'm trying to repeat the question. What I said. Would you mind telling me what the difference between protected and private? Wait, actually, no. Hold on. If you protect something, you're still able to access it. You're still able to access it. In the derived classes. Protected, you can't.
Private. I think you can only access it in the class. With protected, I think you can access any inherited class. Or any inherited class can.
Right. I think that's.
And in Java, I think it's a little bit different than it is in C++. So I'm not.
Yeah.
But I am so done programming in my life that.
Why? Programming is fun. It's beautiful.
Well, I'm doing.
Lovely.
I'm working in Python and Ruby yet, but.
And just to clarify, like I like Midnight. I know you like ask me some of these questions sometimes. Just so you know, like most of the work that I do is in Python, and most of it is in Python because I do a lot of machine learning. I write a lot of models.
Right. Thank you, Icarus. I forgot. He also likes.
That's the other thing I wanted to ask you about, Jason. That article that John came up with on telins, the proteins that have the 13 states, whatever. That was a really interesting article, and it solves a problem in synapses. But where he took it, where the guy is trying to take it, is he's trying to say that neurons have 13 bits of information, and he's kind of like, he could almost be correct, but it doesn't quite work that way because neurons have a
Wait, is it
neurons
32
are
bits?
very often misunderstood. Okay,
Well,
when you take information and you basically fire a neuron, that neuron typically has one target, so it has one bit coming out of it, right? And so it has 10,000 bits going in and one bit going out. But now this guy is saying that the bit going out could be a little more complicated based on the history, the temporal history of that neuron. And that is a really interesting feature because that would affect basically spike trains, in neurons. I'm not sure how deep you got into the article.
Well, sorry, Pete. I didn't want to say something before, but correct me if I'm wrong, Jason. But but doesn't Python also have protected and private when it comes to classes?
It does.
I've never used it if it has.
Yeah, I think it does. Yes.
Yeah, like one thing that's always. What was that?
No, go for it.
Okay, now hold on. In Java, it's weird, and there's a package access level. I think, yeah, Java it's its own beast. But one thing that's always bothered me about Python, it doesn't have brackets. You know what I mean? You gotta make sure that the space.
I like that. I actually like that. I've gotten used to it. The thing is, I'm a Python noob. I've only been
but
doing it for a year.
but at the same time, imagine going from C++, C#, Java to that, and it's like, what the fuck?
I love Icarus.
Ruby is better than Python. Ruby's better Icarus,
than
take that back, or I'll
Ruby's
fire you.
better than everything.
No.
It has brackets.
C++ is better than everything. I'll fight you for it.
Anyway, Jason, I thought that article was really interesting, but then again, John wanted to say, "Oh, look how complicated. Therefore, God." And it's like, "Oh, come on, bullshit." So the thing about the talons.
I need to ask you something.
Midnight, shut the fuck. What?
Well, I wanted to ask you something. Like,
We're
okay,
in the middle of me talking.
Yes.
Okay,
If John,
go ahead.
so if John sees something simple, does he say we created that?
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck you. Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Thank you. So the thing about talons is that they exist in every single one of our cells. They're ubiquitous, right? And not only that, but there isn't just one of them in a neuron that's going to have 13 bits of information. There are fucking, tens of thousands of these things. And they hook up, they basically create the structure of a cell. So they keep the shape of the synapse, right? And so you have them there, and they could have some effect on basically, if you fire a neuron once, it seems to remember that it was fired. And the talon, the folding of the talon could have something to do with that. So it's a really interesting theory, but the guy is taking it to a place like the researcher. He's like Penrose and Hammerhead, where he's just gone too far. I mean, you got to think in terms of cognition and how cognition happens. And with cognition, you got to think in terms of neurons having one bit of output. Sometimes they synapse on more than one other neuron, but most often they have one output. So so like in AI, when you're recognizing a pattern, you're recognizing an image, you have a whole lot of information, and it funnels down and says, that's the letter A, or that's the number 1, right? No matter how fuzzy the information is. So our brains work the same way in that our brains are extremely reductive. Like we'll run outside and we'll look at the forest, and we're getting 100 million bits of information blasted into our body, and we say, oh, there's a squirrel on the tree. So we reduce information in the same way AI does. And so the thing is, but now some of these people are trying to look at it. They're trying to make the neuron do more than it's capable of doing. And I kind of push back on that. So but the article was interesting, and it's it just opens up a whole new field of research in neuroscience, basically. So kind of cool.
Yay, neuroscience.
I mean, when I read the article, like, it seemed to me that, I mean, it seemed interesting. It seemed very
Stretchy?
It seemed like it was really on the periphery of like kind of the known consensus on these topics. But that doesn't mean that doesn't have some novel ideas that could be legitimized or supported. But I was actually looking for reviews of that paper. I couldn't
find anything.
I couldn't find any reviews of other people's perspectives on it. It is cited a lot. It's cited 36,000 citations. But I'm wondering if that has something to do with this this area of like intelligent design, interest in this area, you know, the application associations with. Yeah, you see what I'm saying. I wonder if that's the reason why there's high citation.
Well, if you look at the author's work, he's done a lot of stuff on telin and actin. Actin, basically, 5% of the proteins in your body are actin. And actin creates the structure of cells, and telin binds the actin. Basically, it's one of the connectors. And telin has the property that if you press on a cell, it can possibly remember that pressure. So it has like a temporal aspect. So he's done a lot of research on that, and I think that's why he's getting cited, because he's done a lot of research in molecular biology.
I want to say one thing is my keyboard's dying, so I'm having a problem typing in the chat. But Icarus asked me a question about whether I use like GPUs. I'm assuming he's saying, yeah, like do I use GPUs to speed up machine learning techniques and algorithms? Yeah, I mean, I work on a cluster, so I send a lot of my stuff to high performance computing servers where we have like lots of GPU power, and so it depends on the type of algorithm, but certainly some algorithms are more GPU intensive, and in those instances, I'll leverage that like parallel processing and GPU computation power.
Yeah, my current Python batches are taking 3 hours to run.
Damn, Speed, I have an article for you now. I really need to go look for the actual paper. But new neuroscience research suggests the cerebral cortex acts as the brain's hourglass.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said. Reductive.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, in machine learning techniques, there are like the two classical ways. I mean, there are things like reinforcement learning, but typically you have supervised and unsupervised learning, but within that are like the typical like regression and classification techniques. And so classification, like binning things, like what group is it part of, is a common method that are used for even for like computer vision. You know, like is this cell a this or a that, and being able to use that in some type of network to vision, like what am I looking at? But that's what your brain is doing. Your brain is looking at a picture of something, and it's using the memory that it has, but it's trying to match that up and categorize it. And oftentimes it will categorize it into something that it's not what it actually is, but that's just what the brain's trying to make order out of it.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I really love the brain? Like,
by the way, Jason, was it in that article or somewhere else I read? He had a cautionary note for AI researchers and basically looking at that temporal aspect of the inputs that were given, that basically common neural nets. But I'm sure they've looked at it and they've advanced it further than that. But it has some temporal aspect or memory of what it saw just a moment before.
Yeah. Like typically you can use like you can use temporal data with neural networks. It's usually frowned upon. It's like doesn't work well with temporal data, but I do believe that there are like things like with convolutional neural networks, and there what's called LSTMs, long short-term memory neural networks, handle temporal data. So,
Right.
but there are a lot of inherent problems with temporal data. In this particular area, I do a lot of work in spatiotemporal data that spans across space and time. It can have there are a lot of complexity in understanding how data relates temporally as well as spatially.
Yeah.
It's not a simple matter.
Yeah, that is interesting. I just don't know anything about it because I'm.
Yeah, like if you're interested in that kind of topic, like some types of methods are like what's called geographically weighted regressions. People do use that a lot for understanding spatial relationships. Things like simulated annealing, combinatorial optimization. These are mechanisms that we use for different kinds of spatial data, but not just spatial data, but it's used for that in oftentimes.
What happened to Midnight? Just evaporated again. He's like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's because he's an albino, but he just all of a sudden he's gone, and I see nothing but a white space.
From translucent to invisible.
Yeah, just off. Yeah.
He
Okay,
loves the
guys,
brain so much, his brain exploded.
we got to shoot it in the head. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only the last thing I want to say is that I was reading what Kathy and Icarus were putting in the chat. I couldn't respond, but I thought what you guys were saying was interesting about AI. So
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, boys and girls, we're ending it. Goodbye, cruel world.
Bye.
Take care.